Hey everyone, it's me, and this is kind of me documenting my journey through donating bone marrow. So last Thursday I went in for blood work to check like my liver enzymes and my bilirubin and all that stuff to make sure that it's okay. And I got my results back Wednesday. So I went Thursday, what day was that? Last Thursday, which I don't remember what day that was. Today is Friday, May 8th though. And so last Thursday, I went and got my blood work done, and then Wednesday I got a phone call with my results, and it was showing that my liver enzymes were a tad bit high, not too concerning, but a little bit high. So today, on Friday, May 8th, I am going in for an ultrasound to get that looked at and figure out if there is anything that shows any concern to them. And then we'll move on from there after I get the results for that on getting an EKG done and getting my lung test done. And then from there I'll move forward to actually donating. So I thought I would document my bone marrow process and figure out how, and obviously if I don't donate, this won't be uploaded, but if you see this video, it's because I donated, and I'm just going to document my donation process and take you along with me so that you can see if you want to donate bone marrow in the future and how it goes, and if it's something that you would look into doing, which I personally think that donation of any sort is a good idea, and that as long as you feel comfortable doing it, you should do it. But I thought I would bring you along with me on the journey. I don't know if I'll actually film my ultrasound today, but as far as documenting every test that I do, I will continue to do that. And then when I actually donate, if I get to that point, then I will actually film the donation process. So that way you guys can see how it kind of happens. So I'll film all my shots that I have to take and the actual donation. But for now, I'm just going to take you kind of along with me on this journey and just kind of document it. So it's Friday, May 8th, and it is 1:31 right now. My appointment for my ultrasound is at 2, and I have been fasting since midnight. I have not been able to eat or drink anything for this ultrasound, so I'm really hungry. But this is just kind of one of the things you have to deal with when you are trying to donate your bone marrow. And I'm hoping that my results come back good today so that I can continue on to donate, because I think this is going to be an awesome experience and I'm just excited about it. So come with me while I show you my donation process and how it all works. Hey everyone, so it's Monday, May 11th, and the last time I talked to you, I was going in for an ultrasound to check my liver and all the functions in that area to make sure that it was okay and there was nothing wrong with it. And if the results were to come back with something showing wrong, then I wasn't going to press forward. And if the results came back clear, then I was to press forward. And here we are today, Monday, May 11th. It's right now 12:11, and I am about to go in to get blood work and an EKG and a chest x-ray and have my consultation. So we're moving forward in this, and then hopefully if everything today comes back good, then I will start getting my shots on Friday. So, and my shots will be to stimulate my bone marrow. And so it'll stimulate my bone marrow, and then most likely Monday or Tuesday, one of those 2 days, I will go in and start doing the donation process, and I'm pretty excited. So I thought today maybe I would, not maybe, obviously I'm here. I thought today I would inform you on what's going on, and then possibly film some of the blood work. I'm not really going to be able to film the chest x-ray and the EKG because I am basically here on my own, and due to the coronavirus, and I can't take anyone with me. So I'm just gonna try and get what I can today, and if I don't get anything, I don't get anything, and if I do, then that's cool too. But I definitely will be filming the shots and all of the donation process when that comes. So I just thought I'd update you and let you know what's going on, and I have to get inside because my appointment's in almost 15 minutes. So I thought I would bring you along today and see what I can film, if I can film anything, and just go from there. So if you don't see any of these clips from today, then I didn't get anything, and if what you're seeing next is my shots, then I'll see you then. Hey, so today is Friday, May 15th, and I officially start shots today. So I thought that I would bring you along with me and document this, and then tell you at the end of my day kind of how I'm feeling and go from there. And then, so I'll do shots today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday for sure. And Monday starts my donation day. And then if they need more bone marrow from me, then I'll also get a shot on Tuesday and donate that day. So I just thought I would bring you along with me and show you the process and explain to you by the end of the day how I'm kind of feeling for my shot. So I just got my first shot and had to wait about 30 minutes, and now I'm heading back to my car. So I'm back in the car, and I'll tell you a little bit about my experience getting the shot, because I decided not to film it this time, and just tomorrow or Sunday, one of those 2 days, because it's basically the same thing every day. The only difference is today, since it was my first shot, they wanted me to stay 30 minutes just to make sure that there's no side effects, like I wasn't gonna faint or anything like that. So it was one shot in the belly, and basically what it does is it helps stimulate your bone marrow to get it ready for donation. And so yeah, but I'll update you later today and tell you if I'm feeling any bone pains or like any headaches or flu-like symptoms or anything like that. So it is Sunday, May 17th? Yeah, May 17th. Sunday, May 17th. And I am going in for day 3 of my shots. I ended up not recording anything yesterday. Friday I ended up with a really bad headache, and that lasted basically until yesterday. It was off and on. It almost felt, I don't want to say it felt like a migraine because I've never felt those, but it didn't feel like a normal headache. So I'm assuming that I kind of felt like a migraine, but I'm not sure because I've never had a migraine. And then yesterday I went in and got my shot, and I still had the headache, and Then throughout the day, I started getting like sharp lower back pains, but it was like every so often. It wasn't like the whole entire time. It was like on and off. So I would be sitting or laying down or something, and then I'd go to stand up and I'd start moving around, and that's when it would kind of shoot up my spine. But other than that, those are the only two real side effects that I've had of this shot. Today is my last shot by itself, and then tomorrow I come in and I'll get a central line, which will be in my neck. And that central line will be what draws the bone marrow from my body. And then I will go upstairs and get my next shot and then start pulling. So yeah, we're almost there, and I still don't know if I want to show getting the shot, just because I don't know. But we'll see. If you don't see the shot, then you'll definitely see tomorrow's procedure, and I'll let you know how that goes.
So do you want it on my right side? You did all right with the other shots?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just a lot.
There you go. Just make sure, yeah, you're good to go.
All right.
Okay. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
Hey everyone, so it is Friday, May 22nd. It is 2 days after my last collections of my bone marrow, and I now have my line out, and I thought I would discuss a little bit of the process and how I felt each day. So starting off with my shots, I know I kind of explained how I felt. I can't remember if I explained how I felt each day after my shot, if I explained any of that, but I'll kind of recap it if I have. So the first day of shots, I went in and I felt fine until later that night a little bit, and I was having some headaches. That's kind of the main side effect that I felt from that shot, was just some slight headaches. That kind of just lasted all day. Tried taking some Tylenol. It helped a little bit by easing it, but it didn't really do a whole lot. And then the next day, I got my shot, and I continued to have the headaches, but then later that night too, I started getting like, it almost felt like back spasms, but it was mild. It wasn't like extremely severe where I couldn't work through the pain. So that's kind of just how that went. And then the same thing kind of just happened the third day, is I was getting the bit of back pain, a little bit of headache. Not as bad headaches that day. And I think yeah, so the third day was my last day of shots by itself. And the fourth day I went in at at 9:45 and I got a line. And you'll see in the videos of it drawing blood, I had a line in my neck. Most of the time, they're able to just draw it through the veins in the arms, but I have small veins, so in order for them to pull it from me, they had to put the line in. Normally, it's not so drastic measures, like such drastic measures, but because of my veins, they had to put it in through the neck. The downfall to that was I couldn't eat anything after midnight, and I couldn't drink anything past 7:45 in the morning, and I hadn't had enough to drink in the morning. So because of that, when I started my donation process afterwards, I ended up getting to the point where my heart rate dropped, and it was like 73/50, something like that. And so it dropped pretty low, and I almost passed out. So I had to press my nurse button, and they came in and they laid me back a little bit. They couldn't lay me back all the way because I had just gotten the central line in, so they didn't want bleeding, which I'll get into that in a minute too. So they laid me back and they got some cool air on me and had me just kind of sip on some Coke to get my heart rate back a little bit, get it back up a little bit, which it didn't go up very high until by the time I was done. But before all that happened, actually, and this was, I guess, they said this is normal, after you first get a line, but when they drew my blood to check my bone marrow levels, it started leaking a little bit. So my line started bleeding a little bit, and they said it was normal, and they were just gonna try and put some pressure. So they took my bandage all off, and then they rebandaged it up with more pressure on it. And that was the first thing to happen. And then my heart rate dropped. And then about 20 minutes before I was done, I got sick. And I asked for some Zofran. And then I took the Zofran, and that didn't help. So the first day was a little bit rough. But other than that, that was the only real, like, struggles I had with the collections. Another thing is because of the process, they're pulling out your blood with bone marrow. The bone marrow's in the blood. So then the bone marrow cycles through a machine, and it takes the bone marrow out of the blood, and then the blood goes into a bag, and then the blood is then put back in your body. So you're basically donating your blood at first, but then you're getting it back. And because of the whole process, they have to give you calcium. And the one side effect of the calcium is the feeling that you get. So it almost feels like your face is vibrating, and some people feel this through their hands and their back and their toes and stuff like that, but if it gets to that point, it can make you sick, so then they try to help with other stuff. But I didn't have any of that problem, but it does make your face tingle, and that effect kind of lasts a couple hours after you donate. So that was the only, like, weird effect that I had the whole time. And then, so day one was a little bit rough because I hadn't had food since like 6 o'clock the night before. And normally I would have had a snack probably about 11:30, but that night I had fallen asleep by like 10:30. So I really didn't eat anything else after 6. So that day was a little bit rough. But then, so I had to donate 2 more days, and those days were a lot easier. I woke up, I had a really good breakfast, high protein, and then I went in the second day and I spent 4 hours in there. The first day was longer, but that's just because they had to put the line in, and then after that it was only like 3.5 hours of donation, and then the next 2 days were 4 hours. So the second day, because of the whole COVID stuff, they have to freeze my cells before they can give them to the patient, and so because of that, they have to take more than what is necessary, because when you're freezing cells, some of those cells die. So I went in the second day and they collected, and I spent 4 hours, and I kind of just rested and watched TV and played on my phone and just stuff that I could do to entertain myself while I was there for the 4 hours. And then the second day when I went in, or the third day when I went in, my bad, they had told me that morning that if they weren't freezing them, they would have collected enough the first day, so they would definitely get enough the third day. So I had to go through 3 days of collections, and that day was really easy too. Again, I woke up, had a high protein breakfast, went in. The downfall is even though you're doing collection days, you still have to get the shots. So the third day, they didn't have my shot because they only ordered for 2 days. So I had to wait. I went in at 7:30 and I ended up not getting on the machine until 9, which if they would have had my shot and stuff, I would have been on by at least 8. So other than that, there's nothing else that went wrong or anything. So I didn't get on until about 9 when they finally connected me. So I was there I was collecting until about 1. And then after that, they told me I was done, and they took out my central line and they bandaged that up. And the thing about the central line is it's pretty much a tube stuck into your neck. It's basically a tube stuck in your neck to be able to collect that blood. And when you're getting it in, they numb you, which is not the most comfortable thing because they stick a needle. I know this might be detailed, but they basically inject lidocaine in your neck to numb you, and then they put the central line in. But when they're taking it out, they don't numb you or anything. So, and when they put it in, they put some stitches in to kind of stitch it in there so it doesn't come out. And when they're taking it out, the part that hurt the most for me when they were taking it out was them cleaning around it and taking the stitches out. Other than that, them taking it out was like 2 seconds, didn't feel it, like it didn't hurt. So what they had you do is take in a deep breath, and then when she told you to, you breathe that air out, and she pulls it out when you're breathing it out. And that was just so that you don't panic when she's pulling it out, and then you like suck in air because they don't want air to get into it because it was an open wound. And then they just bandaged it up and told me to leave that bandage on for 24 hours, and then you could just take it off normal. It's 2 days after my last collection day, and the only thing that I've noticed is, one, I had an allergic reaction to the bandage. You can still kind of see it, the little red spots. I had an allergic reaction to the plastic bandage. And then here's my little spot where the central line was in, and then it's just a little bruised around it and a little swollen. But other than that, like, it doesn't, I mean, I'm still trying to get used to moving my neck around again because I had this piece right there that was in the way. But other than that, like, it doesn't hurt. The only downfall was getting it in, really. And then having it there and trying to sleep, because it was like, you couldn't, it was like the tubes were pushing in my face and it felt like it was pulling, and it was just kind of in an awkward place, really, to say the least. So, I mean, that's the only things that I really have to say about the central line. It's just, it was more awkward than painful. But overall, my experience of donating my bone marrow was amazing, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. And I just kind of wanted to come on here and document my experience so that, one, I could remember it for me and how I felt and how incredible the whole experience was, and two, to maybe enlighten you on what it's like to donate bone marrow and to help you decide if you want to donate bone marrow one day. There's a lot of people out there who need it, and there's very little people who are actually on the list to donate. So I highly recommend checking out the website, Be the Match, and seeing if that's something you would want to do. Not every experience is the same. Like I said, I had to get the line because I have small veins and there was no way they were going to be able to pull anything from my veins. But a lot of people don't have the same situation as me, and they can do it through 2 IVs, one in your right arm and one in your left arm, to cycle out the bone marrow that way. And I mean, the people at Red Cross told me honestly that the central line is essentially easier as far as the process, because if you have to go to the bathroom with the IVs in, it's harder to get up and disconnect you, and they have to keep the IVs in, so you have to go to the bathroom with them in, and excuse me. And then with the central line, it's like they could disconnect you and you could get up and move around, and it's a lot easier that way. But it's a little bit more invasive. But again, my experience and other people's experience are all different. So if this is something that you're interested in, which if you are, that's amazing, and I appreciate it, and everyone else appreciates it, again, check bethematch.com. I didn't do it through them. I personally knew my person I was donating to, and so I just was a match that way and just went ahead and did it. But I mean, I would do it for a stranger even. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I hope that you look into it and you decide that you want to do it, because that's an amazing thing, and it helps thousands and thousands of people who are going through blood cancer. And now at this point, I'm just kind of rambling, and this is going to be a really long video, and I'm sorry for that, but I just had so much to say, and I just wanted to get my experience out there so that maybe it can help you one day to become a donor. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.